And of course, you're helping out here with the charges and being involved in our program. And what side of the fitness regime do you bring to the table?
Yeah, so just helping Michelle out, especially with some technique side of things. So making sure the boys have good technique with their lifts. The idea is that if we can prevent them from getting injured, especially in the gym, and we can sort of rehabilitate those injuries, then hopefully keep them nice and fit and healthy out there in the season and performing well.
And what's your background mainly? I could see there you've got something to do with the AFL, so obviously you've had a bit to do with AFL athletes.
Yeah, so I've worked a lot, probably the last 10 years with AFL Tasmania and with the National AFL Academy, so with the junior pathways. So obviously we get a lot of elite basketballers that come in through those programs as well, so we get to deal with a lot of those guys, which is really good. And with the Tasmanian Institute of Sport as well as one of the consultant physios, so a lot of work with developing athletes. Yeah.
So obviously helping with a younger squad here, how important is it for them to really understand and get the idea of, this is what it takes to go to the next level as far as being a pro athlete is concerned?
Yeah, I think it's really important to understand their bodies. So if we can let them understand good movement patterns and how to move well and how to sort of land and jump well, that puts them in good stead for their careers. If we can keep them healthy and keep them strong, then hopefully they'll have sort of long and successful careers. We sort of push them in the right way. Yeah.
So that will obviously from here that will help from on court, but then to off court where this now will become automatic for them to come in and do their own stuff.
Yeah, that's right. I want them to be self-sufficient. So the idea when they're sort of young is to give them good habits, give them good knowledge. And then when they get into hopefully they move in through the pathways and get up to the NBL and maybe further than that, they know how to look after their bodies and can look after themselves really well. So that's definitely our goal, yeah.
Obviously the boys came in tonight and this was their first night in. What were you helping them with, or what were you showing them, I suppose?
Yeah, so we went through a lot of technique work. So I think the idea for these sessions with the younger guys is so we can build a foundation so they can go in the years ahead and be able to do a decent gym program to keep strong. So things like making sure their squat technique's really sound, they can deadlift really well, and they can use their upper body really well. So one of the big issues that we have, especially with the amateur athletes, is that they go into the gym and lift quite poorly, and that can lead to injury. So if you get an athlete that hurts themselves squatting in the gym, the coaches aren't going to be happy with their staff and their players. So if we can correct that now, then hopefully they'll have a good technique for the rest of their lives. Yeah.
What's the recommendation as far as coming into the gym? Is it once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week? What do you recommend for athletes that are going to that next level?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think pre-season, probably a bit more than during the season. So pre-season, maybe 2 to 3 times a week, and probably lifting a little bit heavier, so getting their strength up. During the season, obviously, you want to limit fatigue, so you might be maintaining their strength maybe once, perhaps twice a week, depending on the stage of the year.
I asked Michelle this in the interview I did a couple of weeks ago with recovery and post-game warm down. We see a lot of elite teams. I know in the NBL we see a lot of that straight away now. Is that just something that's come in, or is it now more emphasised these days?
Yeah, I think it's probably a lot more prevalent than what it was. I think as things get more professional, you'll see the recovery techniques sort of go to the next level. So coming from an AFL background, as soon as the sort of junior guys will finish the game, they'll go straight into an ice bath for 10 minutes. They'll do their nutrition, and we'll go through some relaxation stuff and then try and get them to sleep as soon as we can. So I think the recovery side is really important, especially when you're backing up, say on road trips and things like that, where you're playing a couple of games in a few days. It's really important that we get the guys recovered as well as we can. So as things progress up from a professional standpoint, you'll see the recovery sort of techniques be more emphasised by the staff, for sure.